Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back at it again, bro. I was finna do the, we back at it like a bad habit, that whole scheme shit. But I can't even do it right now. I can't even do it. I'm not gonna lie. But nah, I don't know what episode of the podcast this is or what it's gonna be.
Episode 420. Just cause.
Hell, yo, actually,
Shit. One no on 420. Baby,
bet.
there's gotta be maybe
Nigga,
part
I
two
would
or
have to
something
wait forever.
with like everyone. No, but like with all the smokers, gang. Shit. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like a group cast, I guess.
The group cast got it.
That sounds like a euphemism for a orgy fuck. But we'll skip that part.
Oh my god.
Not the Comcast.
And we back at it with the on the JCP with the one, the only Jugen Slice,
Yeah.
the
El
number
Jordan.
one biggest Jimbo. Come
¿Cómo
on,
estás,
talk to
compa?
him, JJ. Talk to him, JJ. Explain yourself.
Ya tú
Explain yourself to the
sabes, ya
people.
tú
Let them know.
sabes. A huevo, yo. It's your boy JJ. Well, Jugen, as I'm known here in the Twitch space. JJ for the people that are close to me, like ex, my compa, my brother, my hermano. I don't just say anybody. That's
Day
literally
one.
my compa right there. And of
All
course,
right.
Welber debuting today. You know he's gonna say hello. So, what's up to the piece. But yeah, no, I'm currently in Oregon. I work currently at a like an auction. I do a bunch of things. I work at an auto auction. I also work at Taco Bell, and I also sometimes work at a what do you call it at a
As
smoke
a
shop.
stripper, a male stripper at a
Sometimes
gay
too.
bar.
Sometimes too. You know. Sometimes. Hey, when duty calls, and
Hey, yo.
yo, supply and demand. You know what I'm saying? When there's a lot of demand, you gotta supply. Shit.
Oh my god,
I'm the
bro.
guy that in those ads they're like, hey, doctors hate this guy because of this reason. That's me. The doctors hate me for many reasons, but that's for me to know and for you to find out. But yeah, Jugen here. I don't have a Twitter or X as people or Threads, whatever the fuck that shit's called. That garbage. I ain't got a Twitter, but if y'all want to follow me on Instagram, I got it's at basically underscore burrito. But yeah, Twitch as well, Jugen Slice. I'm here, vibing. ¿Cómo están? Bienvenidos to the compa crew. Anyone that stops by, say what's up, you know.
That's why I love you, bro. That's why I love you for real, for real. Cause you always make sure you shout out your people. You always give love to your people, man.
Always, always.
I would
That's my man,
definitely
compa.
say you were one of the nicest in our little Three Musketeers group. Me, you, and MC.
I try to be the less of the vile one, you know.
Yeah, you
Someone's
you
gonna
like
fix
you
it.
like settle everything out, and I fuck with that. Everybody needs one in their group, bro.
I try to balance things out, you know what I'm saying? We gotta have that yin and yang.
Indeed, indeed. This
That's
man
it.
right here is the highest person in the room at all points in time. I guarantee it.
I'm never sober. That my shroompa can confirm that. Like since you met me, I've never been sober. The days I'm sober, that's not me. I better have a Snickers or a fucking giant Twix bar of a joint, cause that ain't me. That ain't me, gang.
Oh my god, this thing is actually
Now,
hilarious.
while I'm sober, I actually am. I'm pretty much. I act high. So like, even when I'm sober, it's like, are you high? No, this is just me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You said I have mental disability. My fault. My fault.
No. All right. So for this podcast, what I really wanted to do, I don't know. I feel like me and you, we smoked the most out of most of our friend group.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask you a lot about your experiences, with drugs, whether it be weed or something else,
Hmm.
whatever you've done, and just how that went, how you think it affected you, like now,
Hmm.
like how it is affecting you, shit like that,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Oh shit. So we don't even have to go back to when I first started. So it was literally when I was 16. Boom. Me and
Hmm.
my best friend of 8 years. We were homie literally introduced it to me. He's like, "Hey, you want to smoke?" And he wouldn't peer pressure me. It was something that later on I kind of was like, is it really something I wanted to do? And my folks at the time, as you can imagine, Mexican like Latino parents, especially ones that are like from Mexico, and then they immigrate over here and they have like their first generation kids. You can imagine that those kids have like they have that pressure of like, okay, you got to do this, you gotta be successful, you gotta like one day you're gonna maintain your family. Like my family would be like, one day we like you might have to maintain us like we're maintaining you. And I'm like, and
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, it's gonna have to happen. One day you're gonna get old, you're not gonna be able to work, and unless something happens where you can have that residency or that like citizenship, you're not gonna be able to retire. So yeah, there's that pressure. So as growing up in life, I realized these things like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to deal with this, yada yada yada. There was school, there was college, so I was like, fuck it, I need to relax. I was already like dealing with shit, right? I was emotionally immature at the time. So when I was smoking weed, that's when I noticed kind of a shift in my personality from someone that really cared about like what other people thought of course, because of my parents and of course my homies as well. Like I really cared what they thought of me. And then from that point, not from that point, but I started finding acceptance within the group that I started getting comfortable at the time, and I started to give less and less a fuck of people's opinions. And one thing that I can say, the outcome of that, like in the long term, is right now it's good and bad because for me right now, I can give less a shit about a lot of things, but with that comes that double-edged sword where even some important things I'm like, oh, I probably should have cared about that, and it's like a little too late to fix some things. And you're like, oh,
Mm.
yeah. So for me, that became my double-edged sword. It helped me relax with a lot of emotions that I couldn't really process at the time when I was younger, and I was able to process it much obviously throughout the years later on in life, and then um, after that, that's when I was like, all right, I need to live my life. Basically, my parents were able to live theirs. Now I need to live mine. And then at in senior year, I quit because I was trying to get into college, yada yada yada. And then towards my graduation, I started picking up smoking again. And then when I went to college, I went to community college, smoked during college, and then dropped out because I realized it's not really something that I wanted to do. And
Mm.
afterwards, I started researching into careers where I could get like licensing, where I could just like pay for it, and I essentially paid for my EMT licensing. That took me about 6 months to get, and afterwards I worked for about a month and quit as well because I was working 10 12 hour shifts for 10 to 12 hour shifts 5 days a week, only making 13 an hour at the time in 2018.
Mm.
It was bad. It was not good. And this is in Cali. Cali's minimum wage, I think, at that time was like 15 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was not like EMTs were not making a lot, and which was surprising until COVID hit, and then obviously they got me more, but it wasn't till then I realized it wasn't for me, and then I obviously quit during that time as well because you can't really be smoking while you're doing your practice and like doing the testing, licensing, application process, job process, all that. And
Yeah.
once I quit, got back into it, and then I went into the travel corporation, which then led me to here. You know the details. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow.
nothing too much because it's like it's the boring shit, it's the traveling part. Type. But I do remember one time, a funny thing when I was smoking with the homies, how it was like. So one time we were on our way after school from school to our train track location, which is where we essentially smoked. It was always we would always go like super far away into almost we would walk 10 minutes, I'd say, east to try and get to this like there was always this tree that would give us shade near by the train tracks, and then afterwards we would go to a 7-Eleven that was also down the street, and then from there me and my best friend would go to the gym, and then from the gym I'd go back home. So then
Mm.
one time I was so high that I was so high that I would skate, right? I would skate everywhere. I forgot my board from our location spot until I got home. I was like, wait, didn't I skate here? And my like my best friend had told me that he was like, yo, why'd you get home so late? Because he texted me about like some homework shit, and I'm like, yo, I'm not even home yet. And he's like, all right, well, let me know when you're home. And he's like, yo, why'd you take so long? And I'm like, what? He's like, didn't you bring your board? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you brought. Where'd you leave it? And I'm like, fuck, did I leave it at the gym? And I told my dad, I was like, yo, can you take me to the gym? I think I left my board. It wasn't there. So then I'm not gonna tell him to go to the spot. So I was like, I don't know where it is. So I was like, maybe it'll show up or something. Maybe it's at school. And then I told him to take me home. And then yeah, the next day showed up and it was there. Luckily, like no one had stolen it. It was right in the same spot.
Wow.
But like like the fact that I walked 2 miles and I realized right at when I got home, like right at the front door, I was that fucking high. Like, I was gone. That's how much like my mind just kind of like I start daydreaming or like or just thinking about shit. I'm
Nah,
always
you was
thinking.
definitely in a different world, bro. Had to be.
Yeah, I absolutely was. Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. And then when was it? There was another day, there was another time where one of my homies, instead of bringing his the usual weed, because he didn't have it, he brought a wax pen from his, I think, old cousin or brother or something like that, like it's a relative, and they have this like pen with wax and some other shit. I think what's it called? Oh my god, hold on. Salvia. It had salvia and wax, and I remember him just he was just telling us that it was wax, that it was like weed. But then later on, we found out from another friend that would smoke with us. He was a much heavier smoker than us. That it was like salvia, and that he knew the exact like flavor and like brand and shit.
Wow.
And that day, it was in the morning when we smoked. It wasn't even after school. It was in the morning. We woke up early, and usually me and my on Thursdays we would wake up early because we would have a late start, which would start us at around like I think 8 or 9 a.m. So me and my best friend would wake up at like 6:30. We would go get breakfast, walk around, smoke and shit, like just vibe. And then that's when we tried the salvia and the wax. And that day when we smoked, right? Like I knew we had to do a presentation. I smoked, got high, got to the classroom, and I was like, "Fuck! I forgot we had a presentation." Like, but I knew I had to. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that day. I was prepared for it. But as soon as I step into the classroom, once I'm like, take my hits. Me and my best friend we were just talking and shit. We get to the classroom, I'm like, "Oh shit, we have a presentation," and it was on a physics. It was my physics class. I don't remember what the fuck the subject was. But I remember us passing. That's all I remember. I think my
That's
my, my
crazy.
best friend absolutely carried because he was also he's super like into music, and he would actually like make music and put it on his SoundCloud and shit. But I'll be honest, it didn't get to the level where Wemos is. I'm not gonna lie. Wemos actually has like Nemo has a lot of he has a lot of sound for his music. I genuinely enjoy it, and my homie like even though he was my best friend, I would tell him like it needs work, but you'll find it eventually, you know. And hopefully he does, because then years later, some things happened in our friendship ended up breaking off, and this was right after like a year or two after high school.
Mm.
So then yeah, like I think what had happened when I asked one of my classmates was he rapped about some physics shit, and we ended up passing. Like he just freestyled, and I
Nah,
stood there, and we passed. I don't know what the fuck I did or said, but we passed. I think I got a
that's
B
great.
minus or some shit, but it worked. It worked out beautiful.
Bro remembered for real.
Somewhat remember gang, somewhat, and that was when I was on my weight loss journey too, because I was like super fat back then, and then because I was walking so much from school to smoking, and then from smoking to then the gym, and then when I took my break, I'd go from school just to the gym, from gym to home. It was like a 2 mile walk. It was far. It was far. I should have gone to another. I was supposed to go to another high school that was much closer, but because all my homies were going to this high school, I was like, I'll walk it. I don't care. Don't drive me. I'll walk. I don't care.
Crazy. Or really
For the
switch
homies.
schools to the home
For the homies, bro. It was
every
really
week.
because I'm still friends with yes, of course, because I'm still friends with one of my one best friend that I'm still friends with to this day since high school, since eighth grade actually.
Damn.
So shout out to you, Chris. I know you're not he's not on this Twitch stuff, but shout out to my homie for real, for real.
Shout out Chris.
Hell yeah.
Shout out. That's crazy.
Fun
I
fact:
think.
we used to do videos together for like projects, and I have some low key like when I was younger, funny comedy private videos of like when we would like go to work. And when I used to live with my folks, they used to have pool tables in like a little recreation center, and we would literally just shoot videos and shit. And I gotta show you those in private one day because I have them on my phone. I gotta show you those,
Uh,
but not
think
stream. Those
about
are
this
very
though.
private.
Think about this. You could keep all those, right?
Mm.
And then as you get more and more famous, you drop a new one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's essentially so. Something like that is in the works. I'm not trying to say too much because the seed is being planted, and this is gonna be a tree that's gonna take a few
Hey yo.
years to ferment. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's crazy. But like those
Yo.
videos are essentially what kind of made me want to even dive into what is internet culture. Oh, Wennis, could you put a message? And I'm not gonna be reading chat as much because I'm in the podcast. Thank you. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Appreciate it.
Dubs.
Because I'm locked in. This is me and X.
About it.
But yeah, gang,
Nah,
like Ah, what can I say? My
Do you think that smoking or doing drugs has changed your future? Like, do you think you would be
mm.
like where else do you think you would be if you never smoked?
See the yeah. So with me, I was super naive and stupid when I was in, I guess, smoking. But that it's not like smoking made me even like wiser. Not like that's not the case. But I think
Bro,
my
like
future would
damn,
have
we
been
did.
more hectic, and I would have had probably a lot more. I would have a lot more corporate shit going on because at the time, I was really locked in on. At 19, I was working at a school district, so I was really locked into trying to get into like a government job and see if I can get myself basically set up for life. Because I wasn't already, I knew I wasn't gonna have a career in EMT because I didn't want to do that, and I was already
Mm-hmm.
smoking and I wasn't gonna go back to being clean. So I'm like, well, what's the best I can do, right? So I went into the school district. I was already clean by then, and then I picked up smoking again, quit, and then afterwards, I went into the travel corporation, which they didn't drug test or anything, so it was very, very corporate, like call center type shit. So if I continue that path, because I wasn't once again like smoking heavy at that time, but I was smoking. I was smoking Stizzies in Cali. If anyone knows Stizzies, Stizzies are fire. I wish I could have. It's only in Cali, unfortunately. But what's it called? Oh my god, my thoughts are blanking. Oh yeah, no, I'd just be in a corporate mess. Like my mind would be jumbled up. I'd probably still be living with my parents. I wouldn't have the same privacy. I'm living in Cali. As you know, things are extremely expensive. There's almost an impossible way of living with just a minimum wage. Versus smoking, I'm able to actually like. I feel like I'm more in control of my emotions and what I'm able to perceive like as like what I can handle. Right, what I'm like. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I can control this. I can control how I feel about this. Unfortunately, I can't control this, and that's just how it is. And then I just base my emotions and day off that.
So what I'm hearing is smoking overall has made you have a better life.
It just calms me down because I was a very angsty person. I mean, as you can imagine, I a lot
About that.
have that. I have that crackhead energy sometimes, and smoking does help like soothe that a lot and be able to calm my thoughts because I have a million thoughts going on in my like that. That's
Yeah.
one thing that I've always had since I was young. Is my mind is always I'm always like thinking about shit. Right now, I'm thinking like 7 different things.
That's fire though. You
Eh,
know?
it's sometimes it gets too much, which is once again why I smoke. It's not like voices in my head. Like don't get it wrong. It's just different like
You're
tasks
schizo,
that are
bro.
kind of like going on in my head. Like do this, or now think about this.
Oh, bro,
So
I
it's
have
different.
that shit. Like I gotta tell myself to breathe and blink.
See what I'm saying? So like kind
Like,
of like your brain
bro,
going manual mode in a way.
literally.
And smoking, it's like okay, remember you're automatic. You're fine. You're human. You're good. Come on, move on. Type shit.
That's fire.
So it just helps my brain be able to calm down because there's a lot going on in there that's just jumbled up from just past traumas that I wasn't able to really I guess deal with, and to this day I'm still working through, and I will continue to work through. And the only way to go is up and get better. Hell yeah,
Felt that.
hell yeah.
All right, enough of the past. All right, enough of the past. We're gonna get into some fun shit.
Ooh, talk to me.
So
Woo!
I want to know what's the most insane fun bullshit you've done while high.
Perfect. Have I told you the Amsterdam story?
Yes, I have, but the people haven't heard it.
The people haven't heard it. Okay, so this is for the people because that is by far genuinely probably like the craziest thing I've done, like while drunk and high at the same time. The only other thing that was remotely, it wasn't even cool. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't cool. It wasn't. It was more dangerous. I think I went to a party and basically had a shotgun pointed towards my chest. That's literally not a fun story. Like it was more like like I shouldn't have been there at that time. But we're gonna get into the Amsterdam one. The Amsterdam one is by far the craziest here. So I was 19 at the time. I took a trip to Amsterdam, I started in London, and then it's a guided tour bus from a company Kentucky. Shout out to them for setting up something really fun that I was not expecting, and it's only for anyone that's between the ages of 18 and 35 because it's catered towards that age group. So when I booked the trip, I had absolutely done zero research. I had no idea what the fuck Amsterdam even was. I just said, I called them up because I really just wanted to travel. I had gotten my passport and I was like, yo, just what's the cheapest place that I can go? And it was Eastern Amsterdam. I was like, all right, bet. So and I booked it for a week, 7 days, 6 nights, and I started in London, ended in London, and it was 2 days in London, 3 in Amsterdam, no 4 in Amsterdam, and 2 more in one more in London, one more in London, I think. And then, so fast forward, I get there, I pay. It was actually a really like cheap trip. The trip itself, like, it included the tour. It included food every day. It included what's called every mode of transportation. So if we went on as Amsterdam is full of canals, so if we wanted to take a canal ride, we could literally just go because it was already paid for. So transportation, food, and all of our hotels in every location was already covered for. And it was about 1,200 for that, and then the flight itself was 800. So it turned out to be like a 2,000 plus trip just for myself, and I spent about like $800 when I was there. So I get there, right, and London's super fun. London is a blast. I meet a roommate that's from Canada, and we just ended up bonding. First day we go out for some drinks in a pub. Try my first pint of Guinness. It was actually pretty fire. And what's it called? First thing, London is super gloomy. Like immediately, it was just like immediate. Like it was gray clouds, rainy as soon as you land, brother. Yeah, it's gloomy, and then you're greeted with the "Hello, governor," and it's just fucked all over, bro. Buildings are shit. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to shit on London too much, but it was cool, and I only like London because I was able to meet one of my really good friends from Australia, Victoria, that I'm actually still friends with to this day. Hope she's doing super well in London. Shout out to you.
She bad? My fault.
She's Hermana.
I had
She's
to.
my
I had to,
Hermana.
bro. I had to,
She's
bro. I had to,
look.
bro.
You can. She's cool. That's what I'll say. She's awesome. She is an awesome person, human being, like in every way, shape, and form. And,
Like hot, awesome, or ugly?
in every way, shape.
My fault.
In every way, X. In every way. In every conceivable way your mind can think of, yes.
My bad. Oh, my bad. I think.
Not only is she
That's who
bad, she's
I am,
super
bro.
bad. I'm just kidding.
Those faces red right now.
Nah, I don't get red, bro. I get purple. What the fuck? I'm brown, but I'm Latino.
Oh
There
my
is no red in
god.
my cheeks. Boss.
Hey, yo. Nah, I got it.
Oh my god, but as I continue, my fault. So, first day, literally, first day I get there, London's fun, amazing. Second day, morning, we wake up early, I think it was 5:30, so we can get on the tour bus and make our way to Amsterdam, because it was going to be a 16-hour drive? It was going to be a long drive. It was going to be a very, very long drive, and we ended up making a stop in, where was it? Oh, France? We stopped by France. By the way, horrible smell when it's like piss and cigarettes. There are some cool places, but a lot of the people there, if you don't speak French, they're like super snobby. A lot. I will say that.
Is that why
A lot.
all the villains in movies are British?
British and probably French
That
too.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. No, but like, although they may be snobby, a lot of them, if the problem with France is there's a lot of tourist traps. There's a lot of tourist traps. You know what I'm saying? So it was somewhat pleasant, but I was glad that we were only making a stop there because we were going all the way, and if we were gonna knock out, it was gonna be on the bus. So it's like, all right, fair. And so we make a stop there. Some people want to take a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower. I said, fuck that. There's too many people. I'm gonna find drugs. I didn't find drugs. I ended up finding who was it? I'm gonna try to remember it because I met a lot of people. I was lucky enough to meet a lot of people, but for the life of me, I won't remember all the interactions or all the stories, unfortunately, just because it was I was high, drunk, and my memory is already shit. This was years ago, so my fault. But I remember meeting this Spaniard gentleman who, fuck, he was in he went to France. He was telling me that he went to marry a girl, right? Like he went there. There was like a marriage arrangement or some shit.
Okay.
He essentially was supposed to meet this girl, and she ended up not showing up. So it's like, oh shit. And he's been there for about a week. So he was essentially like asking for her, but he was telling us a story, right? He was like, so then this happened, right? And so then he tells us that he finds out later that right, that chick ends up being a family member that she ends up finding out is his like long distance cousin, and she just completely ghosted him. Like, he's like, nope.
Bro, it's
I was
long
like,
distance
I was
cousin.
like,
That's
what?
massive.
It was crazy. I was like, no shot. I was like, that's foul. I was like, and I asked him, I was like, when are you gonna go home? He's like, man, I'll probably live here. I'll stay here. Like, just like that. Like, he didn't give a fuck. But like that man, I was like, how does one live a life like that where you move on like just like that? You're like, oh.
It's a great life. I'm not gonna lie.
A crazy mentality. I'm like, holy shit. I don't know. That was an interesting story of like, something that like while I was there, I was like, that's a very interesting way of thinking, and it really like stuck with me. I was like, huh, not giving a shit, and it's kind of like implemented in me like once again that like smoking enhancing things that I need to filter out that are important, and some that I'm just like immediately don't care. But that filter sometimes fucks up a little. That's that once again that could be an issue. So I hope anyone that smokes copious amounts of weed, be careful with that. Make sure you listen to your noggin. Take the time for sure. But as I continue, we get to Amsterdam. I'm gonna skip through all the boring shit because there's a lot that happened in between. But get to Amsterdam, and the first night, we're booked on a cruise. So we're able to, it's a bottomless cruise. There you go. So I was like, what the fuck is that? It's like, oh, bottomless drinks. We get to drink whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. And I'm over here thinking it's just gonna be beer or whatever. Nah, bro. They had beer, wine, and cocktails. And they walk us through. We get out of the bus, and they're like, okay, so welcome in. They give us an introduction. They tell us a little history about Amsterdam and the canals, and then they give us these little glass containers, these like flasks with a duck on them, and they're red. They're these like red vials that kind of look like syrup, like a red Pepto-Bismol syrup. I kind of imagine that, okay? So everyone gets one. And when you read the bottle, it's all in Dutch. So I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? And there are no numbers. There's nothing, right? So I'm like, okay, what is this? And then the lady was explaining to us that it's like a palate enhancer type deal, where like once you drink it, like anything that you drink is gonna taste like a lot better or what have you, and it's gonna be like an extra alcoholic beverage, right? Like a little extra shot, like a shot. I was like, all right, cool, valid, right? So then
Hold on. Did you just call it a palate cleanser?
Palette.
It's palate cleanser, my boy.
Palette, my fault, bro. I don't say those words
God.
often. I literally had to Google that today. I was like, what the fuck is
Good
that?
lord.
Palette.
Yes, palate.
Palette. You got that?
Start in the A.
Thank you, palette.
There you go.
There
Palate.
is always my fault. Always high and illiterate. My fault. Shit. But yes, palette. So some shit like that. So took the shot. It tastes like cherry. It was absolutely amazing. No hints of alcohol whatsoever. So I'm thinking, okay, that's probably not alcohol. It's probably just some sweet shit. I take so then I mind nothing of it, right? I'm like, all right, let me she's like, oh, okay, everyone starts getting sat down in their tables and shit, and people start taking their orders, and I'm like, all right, let me get a Heineken, because that's essentially where, like, you know, they make them. That's where Heineken like come from and shit. So I have one. I take literally just like 3 sips. Tell me why I'm starting to get like tipsy. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? First beer has never ever happened in my life ever. Usually the first beer I down like water, but I take my time with it. Bro, I'm already feeling. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, I can feel like warm and shit. Like, you know when you start to get like tipsy, right? Like, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So then,
Bro, she gave you an absence fucking
and everyone's
high.
pretty much feeling the same thing, right? We're all just like, we're already started. Like, I can hear people laughing around me and shit. I'm like, all right, people are already like vibing and shit, cool. And that's when I actually met Victoria and her roommate Hope. And then I was with who was gonna be my roommate, Callum, who's another friend that actually he I stay in contact with. He lives in Australia. Victoria lives in London, and he already actually has a
Even
family and like house and shit, bro. Homie is moved up. So shout out to Callum. He has a Dragon Ball sleeve that actually inspired me to sort of like pull the trigger on this one years later.
wow.
Oh yeah, the whole sleeve. He had like every character like on it. Like his whole arm was covered. It was fucking awesome. But either way, we're drinking and shit, having a good time. I have one Heineken. I'm already feeling it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep drinking. I have one Heineken, and at this point, I have never had like white wine. I've had red wine, but I never had white wine at that point in time. So I wanted to try it. And they were serving it at the what's good, Kevin? And I was serving, and they were serving it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna order it. So I ordered that bad boy, right? Bro, it's the most disgusting shit ever. I'm not gonna lie. I think white wine's gotta be the worst fucking wine
It really
I've
is,
ever
bro.
tasted. Red wine is actually solid. I think is
Amazing.
you can find
The white
great
wine,
red wines and some bad ones, but for white wines, I think they're ass. It's the equivalent of like
they're
getting a
horrible.
diet soda. It is bad. It is fucking bad. I am not a fan. But that's when I realized right there, like literally first whatever shitty little cup. It was not for me. So I just stomached one, moved on, and we're still doing the tour, by the way, while we're drinking. So I've already 4 Heineken down. I'm 2 glasses of wine, of red wine, and one of white wine, and then we do the tour. It ends. It's super beautiful. I mean, it's at night, so the lights are really out. People are out and shit. The clubs are turned, and the tour guide's like, okay, so this is pretty much the end of day one. I'm going to be going to these clubs. You can, like, it wasn't really like part of the tour, but he's like, yeah, like I already know these spots. This is the part where we all just kind of like do our thing, but if you want to follow me, we can go and party here. And literally everyone's like, yeah, let's fucking go, we're going. So we follow the tour guide, and this dude has a group of like 30-40 people with him, right? And we're going to pretty much this whole block of just clubs. And first club we go to is all like 80s, 70s like jams and shit. So I start drinking. It's like Red Bull. What's it called? Red Bull and vodka? What's that fucking drink called?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But that one. I
It's
had
just
like,
about to go,
that shit. I had like 2 glasses of those, and then I had a shot of. I don't remember. A shot of Jägermeister. I remember, and then and then afterwards, me, that Australian dude, and a chick from Zimbabwe named Tanya, and then one of her other roommates. Shout out to Tanya.
She's from Zimbabwe. She definitely.
She has a very interesting place in this story. So.
No shit.
So then
He
moving
was.
forward, we end up just like we end up going to another part of the club, right? And right there they have a bunch of like bachata music, like Dominican Republic. Like it was fire. It was more cumbia. It was like more my beat. So I was like, alright, sick. I could be around here. You know what I'm saying? And I start ordering shots, and then that's when Callum and then the other chick we start talking and shit. We all start like, oh, where are you from? We start getting to know each other. I don't know where I got this from, but I developed an alter ego when I was there. I told her that I was gonna become a doctor, and that I was studying at UCLA, and that I was like, I lied my ass off for some reason.
That's how I know
I
they
was drunk,
died.
and Callum looked at me, bro, and he was just laughing, like he not obvious. He was just like he was like you could see him. He was just like chuckling and shit. And I'm just like I'm looking at him. I'm like, just keep going with it, right? I'm trying to impress her, obviously. Like I'm trying to impress this Tanya chick. So then we're just talking, and she's like, oh, you want to dance? We dance. It's a vibe. It's awesome. And we get I'm already 2 shots of tequila in at that point. Like after we start talking, and then we get for more drinks, and then we start ordering like that flame shit one, and that's when I learned that you're supposed to fucking blow it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take the shot, but someone told me, it's like, yo, like literally the bartender was right there. He's like, yo, when you take the shot, just blow the flame out. I was like, all right, cool. So then blow the flame out, take the shot. It was fire. I was drunk as fuck. I was absolutely drunk. It was 3 a.m. at that point, and we were like, all right, I'm getting tired. Let's head home, right? Or not head home. Let's head to the hotel. So then, as I'm heading back, I'm like drunk as hell. I'm basically hanging on to Callum, and I'm like feeling my pocket, and I'm like, I don't feel my wallet. And Callum's like, what? I'm like, I don't feel my wallet. He's like, what do you mean you don't feel the wallet? I was like, yeah, I don't feel my wallet. I don't know where it is. And uh, I was so drunk that I told him apparently that I was like, oh, it's okay, I'll get another one when I get back home. He's like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, no, we're getting this shit right now. And we went back. We were already, I think, halfway to the hotel. We went back because my dumbass forgot my wallet. And I had, I think, 200, or like, I had a few hundred, I had like 100 euros in there. Just 100 euros because the rest I hadn't converted yet to cash because I was only spending what I was going to spend that day. So I had only 100 at that point from all the tequila and shit, all that bullshit. So then we go back to that same club where me and Tanya were talking and shit, and she's still there. So then me and Callum were like, oh shit, what happened? Like, oh, we forgot his wallet. And she's like, what the hell? We didn't even see it. It's like, did he leave it in the bar and shit? And then we checked, and when all four of us approached the table and asked the bartender, he's like, oh yeah, it's right here. It's like, huh? I'm like, okay, thank you. And when I got my wallet back, guess what was missing? The 100 euros.
Hey, bro. That's a
That's the
loss in
pipe to
family.
pray. Yeah, I was like, that's my fee. I'm glad I got my shit because everything else was in there, luckily.
Hey, that's fine.
That was literally the first day. Got back, vibe. That was it. The second day though, that's when you know the devious activity happened. The second day.
Yes, sir.
The second day, that's when we had something huge. Apparently, one of the big things that was happening was Kentucky had this thing planned where if you pay for an optional excursion, you get to go to a sex club, and they literally like a sex theater, not a club. Sorry, not a sex club, a sex theater.
Sex theater.
Sex theater.
Bro,
It's
that's
like
the
literally a
perfect theme
performance.
for an orgy.
Anyways, that was the second
No,
day's
actually.
plan. That was day two's plan. That is crazy. But yes, it was a sex theater. So it's literally a performance. Imagine a kabuki theater, right? Performance. But instead of kabuki, it's people fucking. And that's what it was. So it was late at night. Throughout the day, we had done some fun shit. We were already like, we rode some bikes and like we went around. It was like the typical tourism shit, right? We went to the clog factory and shit. We saw how they make clogs. We saw how they make cheese and all that good stuff. And their cheese is fucking amazing, by the way. I highly recommend it. And oh yeah, throughout the day, yes. Well, actually, we went through to the city, and in the city, like near where the red light district is, there's a bunch of cafes, and oh my gosh, it's like LA. So imagine instead of a bunch of clothes and like a bunch of like phone accessory lines and shit, it's just weed and edibles all galore. Anywhere, every turn, every head turn you see is just a fucking cafe, and it's magnificent, brother. I'll tell you how good it is. When you walk in, like you get a menu pretty much. You get a menu with any edible you want, with any THC drink, whether it's THC or just like natural agua fresca type beat. You know what I'm saying? Or you can even get your own like pre-rolls and shit. They have pre-rolls ready for you. They also had like a hookah, but instead of hookah, it was weed. It was amazing, and most of them were set up like that. Like you go to anyone, and they're pretty much like that. You just see people chilling, having a conversation, vibing, and then there's like a bud tender, so she's just in the back rolling shit. If you have any questions or you want something rolled specifically, then she'll do it for you. And then there was one shop where they had like a little rolling competition, and one dude rolled a Jesus piece, and then another dude did like a spider, and some other dude did a fish. That shit was amazing. It was so fucking cool.
That's crazy.
It was awesome. That was second day, and obviously I get stupid stoned. Me and the roommate Cal and them, what was her name? I can't remember it, but it was a girl from Canada and Victoria, and then Hope as well. There was a good group of us. I was high, Callan was high, and that Canadian chick was high, but Victoria was sober, and then and Hope was sober. We apparently started chasing pigeons because there's like this whole cathedral part, and there were just people taking pictures and walking and shit, and there was a fuck ton of pigeons. And at some point, I do remember getting really close to a pigeon, but I don't remember chasing one. But Victoria was saying, and I trust her because she was sober, that me, Callum, and I think her name is Sarah, I can't remember, but that girl from Canada, we all were chasing pigeons. Like, we were all just following them. Just imprinted on them for some reason. Gone.
Bro, pissed in the bed.
Gone, bro. That was throughout the day. So then, all whatever was, throughout the day was planned was done, and then we have the rest of the afternoon until the evening to where we meet up for the for that sex theater. And immediately, brother, it is a long line. It is a long fucking line to that theater, and it had a weird ass name. It was like, oh my gosh, God, I can't remember some something with Moo, something with an M-O. Either way, it was a sex theater, right? And immediately is a fucking long line. And luckily, since we had already we were able to pay for the excursion ahead of time, the tour guide was able to lock pretty much whoever paid all of us in to be able to go in. And we went in literally VIP, like in front of everyone, bro. We cut the line, and it felt so fucking good, like because there were so many people. Not only did we cut the line, but immediately they greeted us with lollipops. These lollipops, every female got a dick, and every guy got a pair of titties. It was awesome. They were delicious, by the way. Those lollipops, they actually made them amazing. Probably the best lollipop I've ever tasted in my life. And so then you go in, and immediately their servers and shit, they're like, hey, what do you want to drink? And I got a Coke and rum, I think, or Coke and something. It was a dark drink. And I remember what's it called? I was like, the first one's free, and then like the second one you pay or some shit like that. So then I got one. I'm like, all right, sure, let's see what's up. Like, cause I had literally no idea what to expect. I'm like, a sex theater. I had imagined. I'm like, is it literally just people fucking, or is it like, do they perform, or like what happens? Like, do they do tricks with like their dicks or something? Do they do like some twisty? Like, what do they do, right? So then, it's kind of like a circus. So one girl, and this is not. I don't know. Like, yeah, I'll. Hopefully, this isn't anything that'll get me super in trouble. But basically, what she does, right, is her whole shtick was getting a marker up her cooter and writing, and you literally writing on it, like using like writing shit. So one of the peeps in our group, in our tour group, got called up as a volunteer. She's like, oh, can I get a volunteer? And she was like stripping and shit. She already had her titties out, yada yada yada, right? And the guy's like, all right, whatever. He goes up, and she's like, take your shirt off. So he takes his shirt off, and she does a little strip on him, yada yada yada. And then she makes him sit on the floor, like lie down. That she makes him like supine, completely flat on the ground. And that's when she takes it off. She gets a marker, and I'm like, what the fuck? The marker came out of nowhere. By the way, the bitch like had sleight of hand. She said fucking abracadabra, because she was wearing a bikini, and at no point there was a marker. So this bitch had a marker out of nowhere. So then she gets a
It
marker.
was already in there, bro.
Bro, no, because it was. She had it in her hand. So you can hear the. It was. So
It
anyway,
was in there the whole time, bro.
marker happens, right? She, boop. Not even a moan. She's just used to it. All right, that's her shtick. Once again, boop. And then she proceeds to write his name on his abdomen, which was Richard, ironically.
Nah. You can't wear your shirt ever again after that.
He put his shirt on immediately.
Oh,
He
bro, you
was-
said
Oh my gosh! And by the way, Dutch women are really fucking tall. And this dude that walked up was like 6'2". She was 6 foot. She was right there.
okay. So what I need in my life
Dutch women.
is a black Dutch woman. Now,
Or am I with stilts?
nah, I gotta have them both now. Fuck.
Oh, I gotta have it all. You're gonna be like, Amaya, we need to take a trip to Amsterdam. For no apparent reason whatsoever. For research purposes, really.
I'm going hunting.
I'm going. It's wabbit season.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness! But that's still second day, right? And so that's one performance. Okay, that's just one. And then one of the other performances that happens is like just a basic James Bond strip. Like she what was impressive is how much the bitch would spin. Like she looked like a literal fucking fidget spinner in a pole. That it was amazing. So other than her flexibility and her insane muscles and how short she was, it was just phenomenal. She wasn't even like half naked. Like she literally just had like her lingerie, and that was it. It was just fantastic. Then came the freaky part, because in between those two like cool little shticks, right? Like the marker thing, and then the fucking the stripping. There was literally just a couple fucking like the stage would rotate, and then it would just be a couple fucking, and then it would rotate to the like actual performance. It wouldn't even stay long for you to be like what are they doing? And then they're gone. But literally, So in between, so literally in between fucking performances, you would just have a couple or like a threesome or like lesbian. At some point, two lesbians were had a type shit, and they were connected by a Chinese finger trap, and it was crazy.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, oh, and then oh no, that same girl with the marker, she pulls up, right? She pulls up back, and she has another stick that I didn't know. Her pussy has amazing powers. That shit is a literal storage unit because her next fucking trick, bro. She pulls up, she does a little striptease, right? And like out of nowhere, right? Like she's already naked. She does a little show, yada yada. She does like this flexible shit. She's like impressing people, ooh ah whatever, right? And like she goes down under, right? Like Australia, she goes down all the way down under. Something comes out like a little strand. Okay, okay, just a little string. Goes across the stage, and the stage is like maybe 10 feet, maybe a little bigger. Across the stage to a pole, ties it while still out. Okay, while still out, coming out of the concha. All right, while coming out of the conch, the magic conch, she walks to the other fucking side, ties it, walks in the middle, and a flag comes out.
I need that. I don't know
She
what I'm
has a
doing with
whole
that, but I
storage unit
need.
in there, brother.
I need
It's
that.
like this thing, like you can see that's like this thin string and shit, but it's like how did that much come out?
I don't know how she
It,
caused that.
I was like, I
That
literally, it was a standing ovation from everyone. Needless to say, bro, that one actually had a lot of people impressed. Unironically, a lot of people in the theater were like, "What the fuck?" Like, huh?
is-
Oh, just a lot of weird reactions. I was laughing the whole. I thought that shit
Half
was
the
fucking
crowd
hilarious.
is
I thought I
never
was in like
gonna
a
do
South
it.
Park episode. Like this wasn't real.
That got it.
Oh my god. But this was all once again in the red light district. And mind you, I had no idea what the fuck the red light district was when I had got like as soon as I got there, that's pretty much when I found out like in Amsterdam, it's like, oh yeah, that's the red light district right there. It's like, oh. So then that brings us to our next part. Because that same night, after the sex theater was over, we pretty much have our we can do whatever we want. We go all of us our separate ways. Me, Callum, and some other dude by the name of oh my god, what was his name? Some other like super white Australian name I can't remember. But us three, right? We're all walking. We're like, well, let's get some more drinks. So we end up hitting a few pubs. We get a few more drinks, and we walk back. We're still in the red light district, but we're more towards the outskirts. So then we start going a little more deeper in, and we're like, I was like, yo, let's hit up a cafe. And then Callum, he wanted to hit up him and the other dude wanted to hit up a strip club. So then I was like, well, on the way, I want to go to a cafe and like at least get a few joints or something, right? And we walk by, and it doesn't take maybe like 5 minutes till we see like this huge colossal building with windows full of women just in their lingerie saying what's up, chilling on their phone, everything. They're just on the window, chilling, telling you to come on in. Those are brothels. Those buildings right there, those are brothels. And homies, all right, Callum and the other guy, let's go in. I was like, huh? Let's go what? Let's go where? They said, let's go in. I was like, oh. Huh. I don't know about that
Nah,
one,
I'm
Chief.
good on that one,
So
bro.
then,
Yeah.
all right. This is where the truth comes out. This is the real me. I'm sorry, y'all. But I had a man has to do what a man has to do.
Hey, yo.
And you best believe the Amsterdam culture, I was gonna respect it to its core. And you know what I did? I
Yeah.
went in there. No, but then as they said, they legit said, "Yo, I like pull up," and I was already drunk at this point. I already had like 8 drinks. I was high as a kite because Callum had already something. So he had some joints with him. We were already smoking, so I was like, I'm drunk and I'm horny. Why not? So then, and I have money.
Crazy.
So I
Just
see
hanging
this
around the
chick.
door is hungry, huh?
I see this chick,
Insane.
curly hair, beautiful. She's from Dutch lady. Oh my gosh, bro. I do fuck if I remember her name, but I remember her profession and I remember that she does it very fucking well. Curly
Oh
hair,
my.
almost basically 6 foot. She was absolutely taller than me, and I'm 5'11". She was like 6 foot something, and fuck. Immediately when you walk in, homie, Immediately, it's almost it's like a waiting room. Okay, so you're in a waiting room, and you're greeted by like four fucking bouncers, my guy, like just chilling, literally right there. Like there's four bouncers in the front. There's five different books, and each one has like a picture of the girl and like a sign in, and obviously like what you pay, and you drop, you give collateral at some point because I had to give my ID and give it back, and you're timed. So you pay per time, so you pay like per hour, or per 30 minute. There was a 30-minute block that you can get for a super like cheap rate, which was between 50 to 80 euros depending on the girl.
Mm.
So this is gonna sound really fucked up, but this was in Amsterdam. Once again, this was in Amsterdam. This wasn't anywhere here in the States. This was in Amsterdam, where it's legal, literally legal and taxed, and it's government regulated. Like their prostitution laws and their weed and like their drug shit, it's all pretty much regulated. So with that being said, go in, sign in. I paid for an hour. I'm not gonna lie. I paid for an hour. I was like, let's see what happens, right? I should not have paid for an hour. That was a mistake. That was a terrible mistake. I did not realize how low stamina of a man I was at that time. Like it was not it. So either way,
No
I
way.
paid for an hour. It was like 100, 110, 20 euros, and I was they give you the book. They say, who do you want? Did you see the girl that you want? Bada bing, bada boom. This is her. And one of they give you a condom. Obviously, condom is an absolute must. You cannot take that off. That never comes off. That stays on. If anything happens, you're getting your ass dragged out with your cock out. They do not give a fuck. If you're past even a minute from your time, you're getting dragged out with your cock out. They do not give a fuck. If you haven't even busted a nut and your time's up, you're getting dragged out. The time you really have to respect the entertainer's time, for lack of a better word. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, she gotta get to the next nigga, bro.
So I was already terrified out of my mind. I was like, yeah, I'm like, tops 45 minutes, man. I just pay for an hour to be safe. Seriously, like I'll have the extra 15, man. I don't give a fuck. So take a 15-minute break. Seriously, like shit. And so then you go in and it's I went in. It's a dark hallway and they introduce you to the girl. You guys talk a little bit. And then they take you to the room. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous as hell, bro. Like immediately, I just started talking. I just started rambling, brother. I started talking about shit that did not make sense. Like literally just random shit about how like I adopted a ferret at some point, how I killed a
Oh
tarantula,
my
like just the
god.
most random shit. Because I was nervous. I had started to realize what I had done. You get me? Like it started kind of setting in. I was like,
You
oh
cannot let
fuck.
the hoes
Hold on,
get
hold
you
on, hold on,
there.
hold on, hold on. But this is where it gets good because I know she's a. This is how I knew she was a professional. So she
That's her
talks.
job.
Yeah, no, she talks to you. She's chilling, and she's like, and she knows English, luckily, so she knows English. A lot of, if not most or all, entertainers there know English, luckily. So I was able to talk to her in English no problem. She understood me, and she was saying along the lines with her accent. She was like, well, like that's fine. She was like, you're good. I know this is new. Like she was like getting me to like realize like like this is fine. You're good. Let me do what I need to do. In short, and she was saying like, God, I was
She
so
said, "Let me
embarrassed,
get
bro. I
back to
was so
work, nigga."
fucking embarrassed. Like I was literally like red in the cheeks, dog, because like I said, I had never like done some shit like that before, at that time. So then she, so then she tells me, relax. I'm gonna do my job, and you can just close your eyes and I'm what's it called? She said something about heaven. She's like, you're gonna just imagine the clouds and I'm gonna take you to heaven or something. I was like, all right, cool. Brother, when I
Damn.
tell you she sent me to hell and heaven at the same fucking time, holy shit, dog. So she starts like she starts by like making out and shit, and then afterwards, just immediately goes down, bro. Like she starts like kiss my abdomen, yada yada, bada bing, bada boom, and then how 15 minutes in, I'm literally about to bust. Like I can't. I can't. At some point I told her to get off, and I was like, I want. I told her that I wanted to make the time worthwhile, and I told her straight up, this is so far the best sex I've had ever. Bro, this is when she was like, oh, and I was like, don't awe that. Don't you dare awe that statement ever again. That was the most emasculate I've ever felt. Like that was bad. Just oh, like no, you don't awe
Nah.
that. You never awe that. The fuck. So then that kind of got me a little floppy, and then she was like, oh, like the one thing. Oh, let me get. Let me fix that for you. That's all it took. Fixed immediately.
My God.
And yeah, 30 minutes in, I waved the white flag. I said, I no, I can't. I'm out of juice.
I said, please, no more.
No, leave me alone. Ah! Oh my
I
god, bro.
can't.
I busted like 4 or 5 times.
Oh
I busted like rapid fire time. I went
5 rounds and 60 in 30 minutes? Nah, bro.
It was
It's like
she. Oh
six
my
nut,
god, it was the best fucking
6 minutes
press
a
ever.
nut.
And every she used every part of her body. Like it was fucking insane. Every part of her
Crazy.
body, man. Like I never seen someone do some shit with. Have you ever gotten a thigh job? It's the best thing ever.
It's alright.
It's amazing. That's what made me into a thigh guy. I was like, I need more of this.
Mm.
She unlocked something in me. That's for sure. She unlocked like one or two, no, like 2 or 3 things in me that I realized that I was like, oh, I guess I'm into this stuff.
I never knew, right? A
Yeah.
woman taught you things about yourself. That's crazy.
I was like, oh my gosh. No, a professional. A professional. She is to be taken serious. She's very gorgeous to me. She's a professional to me. You respect it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna call her Dr. Sex Worker now. They should all
Oh
be
my God.
doctors. Oh my god. But legalized sex working, that shit is difficult. That shit is not easy, and honestly, like it's fucking man. Like people gotta make money.
And a
There's
lot
no
of
shame in that.
fucking fun.
Yes, sir. And if it's
They
legalized
don't
and
want niggas to
regulated,
have fun.
shit. Amsterdam got it down. What else is stopping the states?
I don't know, bro. I feel like
Legalize
we're
hoes.
getting there.
Legalize the
It's like
hoes.
OnlyFans, but I'm not mad at it.
Legalize Mexicans and the hoes. Come on.
What a campaign, bro.
2026, JJ for president. Legalize the
Oh my.
Mexicans and the hoes. I'll get
Now
every
you'd
girl.
have to be, you got to be 35, bro. Minimum.
I look it. It's fine. I'll just say it. What are they gonna do? ID me? I'll just have them freeze like
What?
Mitch McConnell. Freeze. I'll ask you a very difficult question. Have you seen that motherfucker froze twice? He froze
Hmm?
again. He froze again recently after being asked. I think like the most simplest question. I can't remember what the fuck he was asked, but some reporter asked him nice simple question. He's just like, and then everyone around him, his aides were like, McConnell, McConnell, McConnell. Get this man to retirement. His brain doesn't function. He is stalling in real life. Get this man to a retirement home now. Holy shit. He needs to be out of office
I don't know,
now.
bro. You just need to be rebooted, bro. That's all
Not
it is.
rebooted. Get him recycled. Get him out of here. Fuck that, dude. I'm just saying, like, once you reach a certain age in politics, get the fuck out. You should not be allowed to make rules or policies or have any sort of control. You are senile. You are Joe Biden senile. You need to be watched. You cannot watch over a country. You need to be watched. Holy titties. When are these old people gonna learn? If not, I'm gonna send Welber after them. He's gonna chew them with his underbite.
Nah, bro. Well, it's cooked. All right.
Welber's vibing.
Nah, he's cooked.
He's a
Well,
squirter.
hey, yo, he got to stop.
So I'm not gonna drop in this entire podcast right now. Starting now.
He's a squirter. Got it.
Yeah. Squirter sperm well.
You could put that on a shirt.
That's gonna be
Women would
the that's
love.
gonna be the merch one day. It's gonna be squirt Welber the squirter. Everyone's gonna buy it. Ludwig's gonna
Oh,
buy it too. He's gonna love it.
oh, that would be fucking hilarious.
The Welber moguls.
Oh my God.
Oh my god. Watch out for the next collab. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's pretty much my craziest story. Like honestly, I was high drunk and I didn't realize what I was doing at the time, and I went into a brothel and did what I did. I did the dirty. I am ashamed, but also not really. It's a counterbalance.
Yeah.
I will not apologize for my joy that I had. It's in the past, and no one got hurt.
That got
Well, I
it.
did because I had to leave.
Phone disconnected.
What the fuck? Phone disconnected. I thought that was a soundbite, but it really
No, look it up. It's finna be.
happened. Phone disconnected. Life alert off. Xbox off.
Hey yo.
Oh my goodness. But I hope to have hopefully a more drunken high stories as I continue to get more drunken high.
That would be fine.
Oh,
Not gonna lie.
I mean, whoa. One day we gotta have that mad honey gang. I'm telling you. Once I get it, you
Ah,
and me
damn,
and the
bro.
homies, we're getting fucked up on crumpets and tea. We're getting fucked up.
I'm telling you, bro.
Lizzie style, the way London would have wanted to.
Yo.
What do you think, Wilbur? Want to get high with us? Fuck yeah, he's a party animal.
Wilbur's high right now, bro.
His eyes okay. Look at him. He's sideways now. Sideways, Will. His eye is always like if I just color it red, homie's permanently high.
That got it. What?
Hell yeah.